Hey, what's up guys? Brian with Edge Fitness again, coming to you with some more information. We broke down movement screening last time on just how important that is and knowing are you ready, willing, and able to do the things that you want and need to do with changing your summer activity plans or getting into changing your activity level for your summer plans. As we look at any time, it doesn't have to just be summer. We're coming from spring into summer, great time where we want to be outside doing more. We're made to move. So when it's nice out, like today, you move more. That's the goal of this. Whatever that movement is going to look like for you, whether it's just fun recreational stuff, maybe it's some performance-based stuff, you're going to do some 5Ks, triathlon, you got biking, swimming events, anything like that, you're out playing golf, tennis, any of those things. Movement screening helps set you up to avoid some pitfalls that you can get into by not knowing, again, use that used car analogy. Another fun one that people like, kind of creeps them out a little bit, but let's say, hey, I'm coming over to your house. I'm gonna just crash your pad tonight and come over for dinner. I'll be there at 5 o'clock. Oh, by the way, it's 3:30 right now. So I'm gonna be there an hour and a half. You're gonna run home and, oh man, the place is a mess and you're gonna wanna clean it up. So you're gonna shove everything under the rug, behind the couch and put it in the closet. Ding dong, here I am. It's like, hey, glad to be here. And then I just walk right in and I look under the rug, I look behind the couch, and I look in and see what's in that closet. That's movement screening. We're seeing what you present with how you normally move and movement patterns, but we put you in different ways that things aren't able to hide as easily. Okay? When we do things like a toe touch, I can touch my toes pretty easily. I give me nice long arms, also long legs, but I can still do it. So we want to look and see some different ways for movement screening to look and see. One, people ask a lot of times, man, I got some low back issues going on, my knees, they bug me a lot. What do I need to do? What do I need to stretch? Well, do you need to stretch? Right? Stretching will fit into kind of that mobility, freedom of movement bucket. So we want to also look, well, is it just a flexibility, mobility issue, or we're looking at stability? How well can you control movement? Two things, and people go back and forth and they're arguing all the time. Is it mobility first? Is it stability first? Is it motor control? Is it this, that, and the other? Well, there's going to be probably a little bit of each thing, but what do you respond to best? What gets you moving forward in terms of, hey, wow, I did that exercise you gave me and that feels a whole lot better. So the art of it is, well, there's a science to it, but there's also an art to it. We're trying to find and narrow that down as much as we can by doing something like movement screening to see, should you be stretching? Because you can go and take that yoga class that you've been taking for a long time. I'm not saying stretching, yoga is a form of doing that, okay? Speaking very generally there. But if you're stretching everything and there's only certain things that you should be stretching to help with your mobility, but there's other things that you're also stretching that actually you should be stabilizing, or that's a precursor to strengthening. If you're not stable, you don't want to start going into some strength training because that can lead to bad things. If you can't hold a position in one joint area, such as your low back, while you then, here's how we would look at doing a movement screen on this, while you look at being able to move through another joint area. If we see someone who moves here first, moves through that spine, rather than through the hips, creating a good spine sparing hip hinge pattern, that's a stability issue. So if you try to just stretch, as soon as I move this way, I've already lost some of that flexibility because my brain is sensing I'm unstable, and it's going to start shutting things down and not let me move as far. So if we can move properly, sometimes that's just a coaching thing. Teach someone how to do that. But if you're a desk jockey, you're already primed to move into that pattern, no matter how much you try to stand up nice and tall and straight, get your shoulders up, back and down, and all the things that they tell you for good posture. But you need to learn what things to do first and when. So if we can look at, I can my toes on this side. I just can't quite get there on one side. Now we've identified an asymmetry. And we can look and see something that wasn't there with just that straight, old-fashioned kind of toe touch. So that's one way we can look at that. Then, we can come down, we can use our handy-dandy little kit, and we can identify how well we move with that pattern, now in a non-weight bearing position. And that will help us be able to kind of tease out, is this a mobility issue where, okay, there is limited mobility. We do need to work on some stretching, some soft tissue work, maybe getting into some massage therapy, getting into, using a foam roller, a massage stick, massage gun, something like that. Those things can help. But it's that whole process of identifying which do you need. So when we get asked, and we ask this a lot, what should I stretch for? Fill in the blank. Well, the answer, and a lot of people don't like it, is it depends. And we need to be able to identify that with something like some proper movement screening. Now, the goal is to not just identify what the issue is to then correct it. So, different ways that we can correct, and it's been really cool to see this. So you've seen people come in and they're here, they're a ways away from their toes. Never been able to touch my toes. Well, let's break that habit. Let's do a little bit of motor control. Yoga block. Take this thing I can fit between my knees and still keep my feet together. And I'm going to do that maybe 10 times. But every time I'm going to touch my toes. Then I'm going to come right across. Again, same thing. Wherever I can get between my knees and keep my feet together. Reach up, nice and tall. Even if you have never touched your toes, touch your toes every time. Even if you got to bend those knees, it's just one corrector. So if this was the right one for you that we identified through screening, it's pretty safe to even try at home on your own. So you could do that, but screening is always best. This allows us to break that pattern, and then all of a sudden, those inches disappear in terms of that gap between your hands and your feet. We teach you how to properly hip hinge. We get the brain involved, do a lot of other cool movement magic things through science, and just motor control. That was another issue. That can be something. Balance beam work is a lot of cool, fun stuff, incorporating play. But determining whether or not you just have a flexibility issue or a stability issue, there's more to it than that. Just someone tells you to just stretch. Well, what should I stretch? How much should I stretch? Where should I stretch? Those are important questions that aren't getting answered with just that very general recommendation. You want to be more specific with that, give you a guided answer to help find that right path to, you know what? My back feels better. Now when I go out in the yard and do all those things, or I go out on my bike, or I hit a round of golf, or do some pickleball, whatever it might be, or you're just out with friends and family, you feel a lot better. You have something that you can keep going back to then build on, to progress, and take that stability, be able to control an area, and now start doing some of that strength work. Now I've learned how to do a proper hip hinge. I know not to move through my spine first, but I get the hips going back. I can grab that kettlebell. I can do that good deadlift. Then I can step back once I've got that. Get some good swings in. Then your fitness can really start to take off. And all those things that you want and need to do get a little bit easier. Because you took the time to go through and identify not just what stretching exercises or what stability exercises I should do, because if you can't move through that range of motion, your body's going to find ways to compensate and cheat to still get it done. You put the wrong kind of fuel in the car, it's going to just stop. Something is mechanically wrong with your car to the point where it can no longer do the job. It's going to just stop. It's going to die on you. Your body knows if this is all the higher I can move my shoulder, well, if I lean back, look, I got my arm overhead so I can reach up and grab something from the shelf. That mobility issue that might be restricting you, that stability, losing stability here to be able to hold you in the right position all the way through the spine. Party trick. If I stand up nice and tall, oh, I got good stability. That allows me to have better mobility. Now all of a sudden I get in a more unstable position. Nothing changed. I didn't fall. I didn't break my arm. I didn't have any accident. But now, that's all the further I can raise my arms up, or I start to feel a little pinch in that shoulder. Well, if I just magically stand up, no pinch, better range of motion. So those two things, mobility and stability, work together. But we need to identify which is the crux of the issue. Which one's the limiting factor? Is there an asymmetry going on that we can identify and then correct? Or identify a path to medical intervention, something that we're PT or chiropractor will be able to fix. Those are things that movement screening can really help with. So if you ever want to ask us, hey, what should I stretch for my knees, for my back, or whatever, how can I do this? It depends. Let's sit down, let's have that conversation, and really get to know you and where you're at through a roadmap intro session, through some movement screening, get you on that right path, come up with that roadmap plan together to find that path to success. So hopefully this was a valuable time spent for you guys to watch and listen and hear me do a whole bunch of crazy things. It's just one thing for a hip hinge. We can do this for a lot of different movements, and we should do this to help you be able to move better. Because fitness has a greater purpose, but if we miss those early markers and find those asymmetries, imbalances, limitations, we're not going to get to that greater purpose, your why, what the big reason you're actually doing this for. It's not just to count reps or to see how much weight you can lift or how much better you can get at touching your toes. It's what can you do with that? Why do you want to be able to do that or need to be able to do that? That's what we want to help you guys with. So if we can do that, hit us up. We'll get you in for that roadmap intro session or just help you out with any way that we can. So one way to do that, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so you, someone you know, love, or reasonably tolerate, can watch these videos, get some of this good, valuable information that we hope is helpful for you to find your greater purpose. We'll see you guys next time.